Hi, my name is Megan, and this is my presentation for evaluating current state in regards to the 2017 National Education Technology Plan update. The 2017 National Education Technology Plan update is a plan that includes different criteria and recommendations for developing schools, students, technology teachers, and communities. There are 5 different sections in this plan that I'm going to talk about today, and those 5 sections are learning, technology, leadership, assessment, and infrastructure. I'm going to explain each section in order of importance that I rank them based on observations and evidence in my workplace. So the number one most important in my workplace seems to be leadership. The goal of leadership is to create an education where technology is infused, and we have education leaders that practice and show others techniques related to technology. My school practices the criteria that defines this section heavily, which is why I ranked it at number 1. One of the most important things that my school prides himself on is having open communication with parents, teachers, and administrative. And this is done through emails. We have a school-wide Remind app, which is kind of like a GroupMe text app for reminders or announcements to parents. And we also have things like Class Dojo that help parents feel involved in their students' lives. There's also many enrichment opportunities that my school provides, such as REACH, which is our enrichment program, and after-school tutoring that's provided by teachers, and both of these are funded by grants. Administration also takes part in teacher-related activities like back-to-school night, conferences, and this really helps show that they're being school leaders and supporting us. They also tend to practice beliefs that they tell us teachers to nourish and enhance with our students, such as we have responsive classroom. So my school principal is very heavily involved in those practices and really supports us with those techniques in the classroom. We have a lot of plans for change through agendas that have been created through the school, such as an agenda to improve our school's overall math fluency and different techniques that have been relayed to us in order to help support students in that aspect. And administration has turned more towards digital resources and other resources aside from textbooks. We've incorporated things in the classrooms like magazines, online modules, and more, to just change the environment and see what works best for students. So the school is overall open to change. Some criteria in this category of leadership are facilitating open communication, student support and academic enrichment grants, leading by example, setting an agenda to change, and turning towards openness. One of the best practices that I would recommend for my school is to develop a clearer community of practice for education leaders at all levels. That way, different teachers have an opportunity to share, envision, understand across different grade levels, because we have different schools for the different grade levels. This way we would feel more connected. If, say, there's a teacher in a elementary school and middle school that have a good idea and want to connect with it, this community would really help them be able to do that. So developing this community would be extremely beneficial in sharing ideas and growing. The second most important section in my workplace would be teaching. The goal of teaching is for educators to be connected and empowered by technology, and in turn provide effective instruction for our students. My school believes in technology and providing teachers with opportunities related to technology, and that's why I placed it at number 2. Communities for educators have been established by offering online communities and professional development opportunities with people from different communities. There is also the conferences that are done across the nation that teachers are given the day off of to be able to go down and experience. So there's that community as well. Teacher leaders are always being developed in the school community, and in fact there's one teacher from each grade level in my school that is a grade level leader. So we do take pride in creating leaders that are teachers, and then in turn we can turnkey that to our students and help promote student leaders. Student agency is also practiced by teachers through choice, and this is a part of the responsive classroom belief that our school has adopted. Educational technology and the advancement of educational technology is also practiced in my school, as I've gotten a new document camera this year. I got a new smartboard 2 years ago. I got a new Chromebook this year for myself, and students are always being provided with new technology, so there's no lack of the advancement of technology being used. The only thing that's lacking in this category for my school would be building digital literacy. Therefore, this is why I placed it at number 2. Some criteria for this section are building communities for educators, teaching to lead, building student agency, advancing educational technology, and building digital literacy in teachers. A best practice that I would choose for this section is to develop a group of teachers that are able to provide online and blended instruction in a skilled manner. This is not just something that exists in my school, so it would really be beneficial to have this in schools across the board. Online learning is not going away. We learned this especially during COVID, so why not embrace it? The third most important section in my workplace that I've observed would be assessment. My reasoning behind placing assessment at number 3 is because, and a lot of this relates back to the whole responsive classroom approach, this incorporates student interests, puts learning on display, it nourishes the idea of growth mindset in the classroom, and there's all different forms of assessment that are involved in the responsive classroom approach. So this technique aligns with a lot of the criteria from this section, so that's why it's at number 3. I would have placed it higher if my school showed more belief in recognizing digital literacy and a little more reliance on technology, even though we are advanced in regards to the technology that we have. The goal of assessment is to use technology to assess what matters and use assessment data to improve instruction and student learning. Some criteria from this section are incorporating student interests, putting learning on display, recognizing digital literacy, using technology that enables assessment of growth mindset, and embedding assessment. A best practice I would recommend for my school from this section is to research and develop a plan that has to do with embedded assessment that assesses students. Nothing like this exists in my school, but embedded assessment keeps students engaged. It provides critical thinking skills and collaboration skills and motivates learners. So I think more use of the embedded assessments would really benefit students and provide them with long-term skills. The fourth most important skill or element, of these goals would be infrastructure. The goal of this section is for students and teachers to have access to infrastructure as needed. Some criteria for infrastructure are setting future goals, bringing connectivity to poor communities, developing a multi-year approach, planning for fast track, and bringing broadband to new communities. I placed this at number 4 because my school does develop long-term plans such as student growth outcomes, professional development plans, school community district goals annually, and we also assess ways that teachers can improve instruction. But on a more complicated note, part of the reason why this is ranked lower than other sections is because my school has a complicated relationship with technology. As I stated earlier, we are up to date and have advanced technology, but we're also restricted with how we can use that. My school and administration is concerned with what resources and when certain aspects of technology should be used in the classroom. They are concerned with planning for the fast track and being up to date on technology, but they do want to move away from technology in certain core subject areas. My school also doesn't do anything outside of school to make sure other students have connectivity. So a best practice I would recommend to my school would be to ensure that students and educators have access to a device and to the internet outside of school. My school does a great job at making sure students and staff are connected while at school, but once they go away from school, there's no solution if we don't have internet at home. It's just assumed that everyone's able to connect to the internet and has that access. So I would really recommend developing and creating a plan that would help those who are not connected. I placed learning as the least important section that I observed to my school. I put this last because I genuinely believe that all other practices are more believed in than this in my school. I also see more evidence of all other sections in my school. My school does not offer many opportunities for parents, for equal learning experiences among students, nor for personal learning. There are no parent sessions for learning, such as parent academies or parent-centered professional developments. There's no personalized learning for teachers. Teachers all receive the same training every single year and the same professional development. As teachers, we do foster a growth mindset, but there's nothing in the district or the school goals related to this. This is just something I've discussed with other teachers that we want to foster in our students. The goal of learning is to create empowering, meaningful experiences that relate to learning inside and out of the classroom for students to have meaningful opportunities and for them to develop these skills and run with them in the future. The criteria for this section is providing opportunities for practice, fostering growth mindset, scaling up personalized learning, helping parents navigate the world that is technology, and building equal experiences. One best practice I would recommend from this section is for my school to conduct more research on how people can learn and why technology is important in relationship to learning. My school believes in some of this due to the accessibility resources, but then they show that they don't believe in it ultimately because of the limiting and lack of resources. So the current state of instructional technology in my workplace setting is really complicated. Although we are quick to gain new technology and digital resources, we are often told when to and when not to use them. For example, during core academics such as mathematics and ELA, English Language Arts, we are told not to use technology. However, we are given online resources that would really help supplement student learning. It's complicated because what is being given to us and the directive being given to us tend to contradict themselves. I would recommend more explicit direction on what administration on what us teachers can use, when to use it and when not to use it in regards to technology and different resources. But even more so, if I could take it even further, I would recommend that if resources are being given to teachers, let us implement them how we see fit. We're the teachers. We know what works and what does not work. So let us try it out and see if it does help our students or if it doesn't help our students. A second strategy I would recommend is letting teachers be part of the solution and have a say in the goals, in the instructions, in the technology moving forward. Administration should involve teachers since we are directly related to what's going on in our classroom and we know our students best. That is the end of my presentation. Thanks for listening.